I know they have long lines out there, so I'm going to start introducing the cast now. Please welcome back a young man who's been coming to the show and who's been sitting where all of you were. Now he's up here. Elliott Fullam. Elliott. A new introduction to the Terrifier cast and a lost boy, Jason Patric. Making her Monster-Mania debut and the reason none of us can look at glass the same way again, Samantha Scaffidi. Yes, Virginia, there is a Santa Claus. His name is David Howard Thornton. And the man behind the monster, Damien Leone. Anybody's got questions, come on up to the microphone. Samantha does not have glass, you're all safe.
Oh, that's what you think.
Go ahead.
Hey guys, congratulations for everything you've accomplished.
Thank you.
I want to thank each of you. I've met all of you either here at other conventions, and you've all been wonderful. My question is, I'm trying to be different. What do you think of all the memes that are popping up, and what is your favorite ones?
It's definitely to do with me, right?
Samantha and I have been exchanging Victoria glass shard memes for like the past week.
Oh, it's just wrong.
There's so many.
I actually really love them. They're very creative.
Yeah, those are my favorites.
I've been seeing a lot of ones of Art and his facial expression. Even at like horror conventions, there's one where like they're doing touch-ups to David's makeup, and he looks directly at the camera, and they get scared and look and go away behind the curtain.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. What's up?
Henry, what's up, buddy? I remember you.
Where do I learn to get better at practical effects?
Well, I'm sorry, one more time. What about the practical effects?
Where do I learn to get better at them? Where do I learn to get better at practical effects?
Where can you learn practical effects? Thank you, yeah. Honestly, if you really wanted to learn right now, I tell everybody who comes up to me, there's like master class kind of thing. Stan Winston, what the hell is it called? But you could just like, if you go to the Stan Winston school, it's like online, and they have like every great makeup artist comes in and does a master class for anything you want to learn. So you can like spend 3 hours watching somebody mold their head or make a prosthetic or do animatronics. So I highly recommend that. And there's so many amazing YouTube tutorials of makeup effects artists like Tom Savini and Stan Winston. You can look up all these great legends, Dick Smith, and learn a lot.
Thanks.
You're welcome, bud.
Hi everyone, I have a question for you, Damien. To piggyback on this young gentleman's last question, I noticed Tom Savini made a cameo in Terrifier 3. It was amazing, and I wondered if you had any exchange back and forth of makeup and effects, and maybe he saw you do things that he hadn't done, or maybe you saw and maybe you had ideas. Was there any type of collegiate kind of discussion you had while on set?
Yeah, we didn't really discuss anything for the movie because he didn't do the special effects on this. But I mean, if you don't know, Tom Savini's my hero, makeup effects hero. I discovered him when I was like 7, 8 years old, and I fell in love with practical effects, and then I fell in love with filmmaking. So to have him now be in Terrifier 3 is one of the most amazing full circle moments for me. But eventually when we started getting close, because we do a lot of these cons together, I did get to hang out with him, and we went out and had dinner one night, and we were just talking about all practical effects and our favorite monster movies and heroes, people who influenced us. So that was really cool. But we didn't really collaborate too much, but I got the greatest compliment ever from him after he saw Terrifier 3. He came up to me in the lobby and he said, "Terrifier 3 makes Dawn of the Dead look like Bambi."
Well, and just last, I met Greg Bucatero. He said he wants to be in Terrifier 4, just so you know.
Did he really?
Yes.
Oh, that's amazing. It's one of my heroes.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, buddy.
I bet it wasn't Terrifier 2 because Bambi's mom gets shot. Sienna's mom, but spoiler alert.
So my question is, what is your favorite fan theory out there about like the movie or characters?
Our favorite fan.
Fan theory. My least favorite is that. Maybe I should. Well, what are you gonna say? Well, I can't say.
That someone's still alive?
That's one of them. No, well, everybody thinks that Jason is is really Art. Is that Sienna's father is Art the Clown.
Oh.
But I mean, that's a theory. I mean, so you won't know what anything is until this saga comes to a definitive conclusion. Yeah.
Goodbye, David.
Yeah, that's a very big theory, and another one is Jonathan's not really dead.
Why are y'all clapping?
Who thinks Jonathan's still alive?
That's I don't know.
Interesting. We'll see.
No, Tony's in people think he's alive. We never see him get picked up.
You do never see him get killed, so. Well, this is gonna turn into a mob, isn't it? Yeah.
Well, thank you guys for
Yeah.
supporting Jonathan.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello. I had a question lined up, then I saw Terrifier 3, and now I can't ask how long you're going to let Art be one of the mini slashers that don't kill anyone that can't have a driver's license.
What the driver's license?
Anywhere 16 and older, they're a slasher game. But
Yeah.
you're one of the few slashers that now used to actually. You used to kill kids, then you did it when they separated the two arts, and now you get to kill kids again.
We certainly murder kids. Yeah.
Now he's Maurice Jackson, so.
My actual question, though, because I can't ask that one now, is, and I can't ask how Serena's head is after you squatted her upside the head every time you pass by her in the chair. Now, how's her hand?
Oh, it's more like, how was her head?
I know, and I can't ask her that.
Yeah, I was actually pulling my slaps though, because I was like, Lauren had gone through enough that week, and I was like, oh, that was all his idea at the last minute too. It's like, hey, why don't you just go by and just slap her head every time you go by her?
And then go by again and stuff.
Yeah.
No, but he was very, very delicate. Yeah. That was the magic of sound effects.
Yeah, a lot of slapstick.
Short. Hi guys, I'm Heather Drew.
Hey, Heather.
I love hearing behind the scenes stories. Or do you guys have a favorite scene that you shot, or anything behind the scenes I can hear from? Something that worked perfectly on set?
Well, my favorite scene that I've shot in the whole entire franchise was the bar scene. That was just so much fun. I was like a kid in the candies for that week because it's like I'm getting to do a scene with these actors that I have like looked up to my whole entire life, like Clint Howard, Bradley Stryker, and Daniel Roebuck. And Damien just basically let us just play for a few days on set, and it was just pure magic. It's like we did so many different variations of that scene. He's just like, you guys just do stuff, and Danny especially was just coming up with just some amazing dialogue. He's such a great straight man. He knows how to throw you the joke for you to just play off of, and it was just pure magic. Plus, I just think that's such a fun scene. That's like probably my favorite kill in the franchise now too. I thought it was such a cool, no pun intended, oh yeah, pun intended, kill. So yeah.
Cool. Hi.
One of my favorite things about the whole franchise, the Terrifier series, is how Art will go from using these like really terrifying and really creative weapons to a gun, all in like the span of like a minute. And I'm just wondering, this is a question for Damien, what's your thought process with kind of switching between weapons that are really impersonal like a gun and then something that's like really up close and like in your face?
Yeah, so we always like to revert back to him being very ultimately sadistic and grounded, because this character can become very, from moment to moment, he can be very hokey, very over the top and jokey, cartoony. But I tell Dave all the time, not that it's, it's just we make sure that ultimately Art the Clown is sadistic and cruel, no matter how much fun we try and have with the character. So like with the frost gun, that was the most sort of fantastical thing we ever did with a kill, really. Because I knew it was a Christmas-based film this time, and I didn't have any Christmas-based kills. And I was sitting down with George Stuber, the director of photography, one day, and I told him that, and he came up with something about freezing, or something about Frosty the Snowman, maybe something like that. And then I knew we gave Art like a torch, and we give him guns all the time. So I said, what if we give him, he builds a sort of, this frost gun that he could use, and then he could shatter somebody. But then, so then it's like you do something so fantastic in one moment, and then we bring it back to him just having a gun, and he's not doing anything funny, and he's just like, I told Dave, just keep this stone cold face on the entire time, and just remind people that you're just this evil, cruel character. So.
Awesome, thank you.
Yeah, that's some of my favorite stuff to do, is like when he snaps back and forth, like being silly and stuff, and then all of a sudden he gets really serious in the moment. Those are fun moments to explore.
Yeah, it keeps him very three-dimensional too, and unpredictable.
Well, hi guys. I've met you guys a couple of times now, but I did want to come up here and kind of give you all your flowers, because at the beginning of this year, I had decided to change my major to filmmaking and media production, and I give credit to this franchise.
Oh, thank you. And congratulations.
I just want to say that I've always had a kind of love for filmmaking, and to see this franchise grow, seeing how big it's gotten has really pushed me and made me go, I think I can do this. So
you can. Yeah.
And so what I was gonna ask is, Damien, do you have any good startup tips?
Startup tips. All I can say is what I did to get where I am, right? And it was, I didn't grow up in a film community. I was sort of I wouldn't say I was the outcast. I had friends, but I was the only film sort of weirdo in my neighborhood. I walked around with a camcorder. I forced my friends to make home movies as a kid. That's all I did, was make movies and just consumed films every day. Every day. That's all I did, was think about making movies. And when I really started taking it seriously, I was just studying, getting my hands on any videos I could find. Because I'm, older now, so there was no YouTube when I was getting into this. I would have to get VHS tapes. I would have to, learn makeup effects from the books. There was no tutorials. So, but just teaching myself everything I possibly can. Teaching myself how to edit, and then just making things that were going to stand out. That became one of the main, that was the formula, that was the recipe. Even when I was making the first Terrifier, I said, why is somebody going to watch my $30,000 horror movie instead of seeing a $20 million Hollywood horror movie? I have to put things into this movie that they can't put in their movie, things that are going to get people talking. And that was really the key to the success of it, really. It was like putting that hacksaw scene in there. That got everybody talking. It was, it was that and Art the Clown. That's all everybody talked about when they saw that movie. So make what you love, be passionate, never give up, make something that's gonna really stand out, that people are gonna talk about, and never give up. Because David will tell you this, I'll tell you this. He was a waiter, all the way into like Terrifier 2. I was delivering flowers when I was writing Terrifier 2. So we would have never stopped. We'd still be doing that and still be making movies. But we're lucky, we're fortunate that this really took off and clicked. But you just can't give up. You have to keep doing what you love.
Thank you guys very much.
So we're all excited to hear that there will be a Terrifier 4.
Indeed.
And so my question is there any intention to bring us the backstory on some of the iconic characters, like Little Pale Girl, who was there for a minute and whose character is just exploded into this iconic, individual, Art's backstory, things like that? as you evolve the franchise?
Sure, yeah. This is sort of an unorthodox way of structuring a slasher franchise, right? Where typically a slasher movie it's the same movie over and over again. It's a new batch of victims, the killer comes back, he just wipes out a new group of people, and they just keep, once I wrote Terrifier 2, I knew that it was this overall story that I was going to tell, this sort of epic story, this battle between good and evil, with the slasher being the backdrop. So, that's exciting to me, knowing where it's going to go. And there's a bit of a comfort, a safety net, knowing that I have this satisfying conclusion to all of this. And knowing that this is more of a mini-series, the way I'm approaching it, I've been giving you guys just like breadcrumbs and nuggets the whole way. And now we're going into the final chapter. So everything, all the questions you have, what does this mean? What did this person have to do with this and that? It's all gonna just explode. Just you're gonna get it all. And I'm so excited.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Hey, what's up, guys? My first question is, how long did you sit around and think of all these kills to come up with? Because they're pretty insane. I would think everybody would agree. And out of all those kills, what's all of your favorites out of all of them?
My whole life, I'm thinking about these kills. I'll try and make it quick so you guys can get. You never know. Sometimes I just want to pay homage to a kill scene that I love in a film, like part 3 was Psycho, the shower scene. Gotcha. Part 2, I knew we had to come up with something that was going to rival the hacksaw scene. So I was just, but I just happened to be looking through a book of Jack the Ripper, not trying to come up with a kill scene for Terrifier, and I just saw a picture of one of Jack the Ripper's victims, and I said that would be something Art the Clown would do, and let me riff on that. Part 1, I purposely went out of my way to investigate real torture methods, so I came across the hacksaw, like a medieval kill of people being hung upside down and cut in half. So sometimes you try, sometimes it's an homage, sometimes inspiration hits when you're not even trying to think, so you never know. But my favorite kill is, I think, still the bedroom scene from part 2 that I'm the most proud of. Yeah.
Any thoughts of using Art the Clown to do Blood Eagle?
I've seen a lot of people online talk about that, but it's been done before. So, yeah, right? Didn't they do it in like the Viking show or something like that?
They did it also in Simona.
Yeah, so, I don't know, maybe a variation, but yeah, what do you guys think? Favorite kill? Jason, favorite kill scene in this franchise?
When I grab David by the lapels and I slam him on some antelope horns. That part was my favorite.
I don't remember this.
That was that other Christmas horror movie.
I love the opening scene of the third film. I think Chrissy Fox is unbelievable. That whole sequence is just magical. Yeah. The perfect setup.
I mean, of course, the bar scene, but I think that opening scene, I think that's probably my favorite opening we've had for any of these so far. Actually, that's one of my favorite openings I've seen in like a movie in a while, since like, at least Ghost Ship. I would just, because I was like, oh, this is just a good way to, boom, get them right into the movie. I was like, yeah.
I have 2 that's tied. I'm gonna have to go with the shower scene and the rat scene at the end.
Yeah, y'all had the same reaction I had on set. Just, that's the part that made me almost puke. I know there's that whole thing going on. I don't handle puke very well.
Or corn nuts.
No, she's responsible. She came in with this horrible bag of smelling like corn nuts, and she just right up in my face. I'm pretty sure something like that. I don't know, but she got right up in my face and was, what's wrong? Come on, Dave. Are you gonna puke? God.
Definitely didn't do that, but.
Oh, it was bad. And then we had that nasty like cream of mushroom soup concoction. It just like you only see it briefly. There was so much. They had this projectile vomit that just went flying across the room and plant on this mat on the wall, and it just stunk so bad. It was just like that day was torture. Torture.
So I do have one more question for you, David. I seen the production team is going to be working on Silent Night, Deadly Night. Do you have any plan on?
I heard about it today, so I was like,
You
that's
do?
I know nothing about that. I like the original.
Yeah, no, that's just Cineverse, so that's not
Yeah.
our team.
Gotcha. Yeah. No, my next one's just coming out in January, Screamboat. So
Thank you, guys.
I play Mischievous Little Mouse.
I'll buy.
Hello. I just want to say that you can tell like there's a lot of care and everybody enjoys being in the movie, and it stands out for me from other horror movies. I'm studying to be a therapist, and
So how does this make you feel?
We all need therapy, so.
Hey, Dr. Freud, we have a slip on aisle 4.
one of the things that stand out to me in the third movie is that there's more focus on psychological trauma that Sienna and Jonathan go through. Is that something that you purposefully put in? Because I feel like it gives characters more dimension and relatability.
Sure, it's only natural, it's only organic that that's where these two characters would be after enduring something so traumatic. I mean, it's unimaginable, I don't really know. I mean, I'm writing this. I have no idea what that would really do to somebody. I'm sure it would be a million times worse. But it was interesting to do a sort of a role reversal in this one between Jonathan and Sienna, where in this one, she kind of takes on the role that he had in part 2, where she's the one trying to convince him that it's still happening and it's really going on. But meanwhile, she's so mentally frail, but he's the one who's really in denial this time, and that's how he's dealing it. He's actually running away. He can't accept it. He can't cope with it. So it was, and again, these movies on one level, they're so over the top, and Art the Clown could be so ridiculous, and it's like goofy at times, but then if you ground it all in reality, I even try and ground it, as ridiculous as some of this stuff is and how fantastic it is, and someone becoming an angel and Art becoming a demon, but if you ground it all in reality and you have Sienna facing real world problems and trying to cope with the idea that she's really becoming something not of this earth, it makes it interesting because you could relate. You'd say, oh, if that was happening to me, I think that's how I would be reacting to it. So it makes it more powerful.
Yeah, because like protagonists, they usually like just get over it in the next movie. So that it just stood out to me.
Yeah,
it's appreciated.
Thanks.
Cool. Yeah.
Good luck being a therapist.
Thank you.
So, what's his name?
How is it going from Terrifier 2016 with not too much familiarity, but now there's a bunch of people who know your characters are very iconic, like Art, Victoria Hayes, right? And you too.
Jonathan.
Sorry,
And you too. Not you too, but
my brain is just. But how is that? Just, everyone knows your movie.
There's more pressure because there's so many more eyes on it. So for part 3, I was the most nervous. I'll say that, making part 3.
I was trying to think of how to phrase it, and my mind was just like, spotlight's on me now.
Totally about Dadu over here. So.
Sorry, man. It's all you were.
No worries. I feel you. I get it. I understand.
He's just speechless.
Hey guys. So, what was it like working with Spencer Charles and Ice Nine Kills for the official song? I mean, it was. I went to the double feature. I saw it for the premiere, so that was really cool.
Oh, that was fun. I had so much fun. What was really cool is they didn't tell all the extras in that they were doing an Art the Clown video either, so they were all shocked when Art came out. That was really fun. But it was really hot in that room, but we had a lot of fun that day. 2 days that I was there for the film. I really loved playing around on old piano too, because I actually played piano, so I was like, I had to figure out the whole melody that they wanted me that he's playing. So I was like, oh, this is fun, because like I just never imagined I would be doing a music video in my life. So that was fulfilling like a childhood dream. So I was like, this is awesome. And Spencer and the gang are just the coolest people too. So we had a lot of fun just messing around for a few days. And it was fun working with Catherine again too.
And Leah. So it's like, we got fun.
Thank you.
This question is for Damien. We're really seeing the appeal of horror films over the last couple of years, you know, at the box office, and how it's going across culture, age, and also people in different professions. You became a director, special effects, you know, master. I was a psychologist. 35 years working as a child psychologist, just recently retired. I'm willing to come out of retirement and offer you free sessions. If you can get me ahead.
Thanks.
Hey guys.
Would you believe I used to be an elementary school teacher? They had me in charge of kids. Yeah.
Hey, so I got a couple questions. Damien, when I first saw Sienna's costume in Terrifier 2, my first thought was like Valkyrie, because it reminded me of the Valkyries from God of War Ragnarok. Was that a source of inspiration for the costume?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, because I could see her in God of War, Kratos fighting her, but I'm pretty sure she would win.
Absolutely.
And for Samantha, what exactly went through your mind when you first read the scene that Vicky has the glass shard?
Well, oh my God, I'm screaming in this. I think I dissociate at this point. You know, I've been in this franchise for 10 years. So when I'm reading it, I'm not really reading what's on the page, but Damien did write, "Will be done tastefully." So, no, but in all seriousness, I'm like I believe in Damien, like, I love him to death, and so if anything's on the page, then I know it's meant to be in the film and it serves the story, so I'm always down.
Kind of figured you'd say that.
Yeah.
Well,
I love it, it's one of my favorite scenes, truthfully, which sounds fucked up.
yeah, my best friend and I freaked out when we first saw it.
A lot of people did, and you don't even see that much.
Yeah, but you guys did a phenomenal job. Keep up the great work.
Thank you.
Hi guys. So I had a question for Damien. So you said that you're coming up on the final saga of everything here, and at least in my opinion, it seemed like you kind of pulled everything together as each iteration of the movie came along. So did you know ahead of time, like maybe when you were writing Terrifier 2, exactly how everything's gonna go, or are you just kind of coming up with it as you do each movie?
No, so there's main plot points, and then I have to fill in the gaps. And also, I'm never just fully satisfied with anything that I think of. So I always want everything to be better. I'll never just say, ooh, that's the idea and that's it. So it's like you keep refining when you're writing, and then you can, you talk to everybody and see how they're feeling about it. If anybody throws you ideas, and they might be better. So, and then when you get to the editing room, you can even change things there. So I always say, until it's literally ripped from my hands, the deadline's there, and it's up on the screen, like I will keep tweaking, I'll keep trying to come up with something better. But like I said, once I wrote part 2 and I introduced Sienna, I knew where this whole thing ended, and I knew especially the trajectory of her character. But I mean, like, there's one of the coolest things about the next part of Terrifier, like I just thought of, and it was like this one major missing piece of the puzzle where I had to get, I can't go into spoilers, but I was missing something, like sleepless nights. And then just one morning I got it, like I finally got it, made everything click. So like it was such a major thing that I didn't have until recently. So again, I needed that to get to the end, but I knew what the ending was.
Do you feel a lot of pressure to, one-up each crazy scene from one movie to the next, or maybe David had pressure to keep one-upping his performance as each movie goes on?
Always.
Or is it just kind of like...
You're an artist and you care, right? You never want to just become complacent, or you always want to be better, you always want to grow. So I'm always under serious pressure. And like I said before, with part 3 I had the most pressure because now it has the most eyes on it, so people are going to judge it more. With part 2, most people didn't even see part 1 when they went to the theater, so they walked into this splatter fest, and it freaked them out, and people were fainting and throwing up. Now everybody's prepared going in for Terrifier 3. So now people go in and they're like, oh, it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be, So now where the hell do we go with part 4? You got to keep trying to up your game.
Yeah. I'm the same way. As I'm still willing to find new nuances to art. I don't want to be just such a one-note type of character or something like that. And that's something I've had fun with over the course of these films. Is like, you know, finding new places to take them with some things. And I think, especially how part 3 ends. That was my when I first read the first drafts of the script. I loved that ending because I saw so many possibilities for the character going forward to explore some really interesting dimensions to him. And I'm very excited to, you know, tackle that going forward. It's like, okay, where can we take him? Because he's going to be in a new place mentally, I think, after this, because he took a real defeat. And I think that's going to be an interesting to see what is he going to be like. And because, you know, sometimes a defeated animal, when they're cornered like that, that's when they become, you know, a little bit more scared, but also they're more dangerous at that point. So I'm very interested to see where he's going to go that way.
Me too. It's become one of my girlfriend's favorite franchise to watch. So keep up the good work, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
So what was the hardest scene to film?
Boy, they're all different.
Yeah, I would say it would be the finale to part 3. That was a very long week for us. That was, you know, a very challenging week, and we went through some rewrites and everything just because of time reasons, and especially for Samantha over here. She's the one that really handles that whole entire scene. She's the big star of that scene in a lot of ways, I feel. So I think she handled it very well.
So I kind of have 2 questions. The first one kind of relates more to Terrifier 2. Me and my boyfriend, the pumpkin guy back there, has been going to the club for this past about a year for karaoke, and it wasn't until we saw the double feature that we realized you guys filmed in my hometown at QXT's. How did you come across QXT?
That's a good question. I think through somebody who was going to do makeup effects on part 2, knew the owner.
Okay, yeah, Rolando does say hi. And that's a good transition because my second question had to do with special effects makeup. What throughout the entire series kind of made you say, as far as makeup go, wow, that can actually use to make something look realistic? Like, I never knew that.
I mean, we use real stuff all the time.
Okay.
Yeah, like that, in part 2, when the costume shop owner gets beheaded, we built that head as like anatomically correct as possible, with just like layers of fat and meat, and using like chicken and all kinds of like really nasty things, and trying to like put, you know, tubing where the arteries would really be, like on both sides of the you know, the head. It was pretty involved, so that looked pretty real to me.
One of my favorite things that we did was in part 1, where I thought, wow, I was like, wow, this guy's really intuitive and just thinks of really creative things. Is when we were doing the pizza shop scene. And this one, Art cuts the hand, and we didn't really have a lot of things there. Like, we need something that looks like bone or something like that. And we're like, well, we're in a pizza place. He got pizza dough, like pizza crust.
Genius.
Yeah, and just like put it in there so it looked like bits of bone and stuff. I was like, that's great. It was like these little things. I was like, this is brilliant.
That's amazing. Well, thank you. And I also love the like makeup evolution of all the characters throughout the series.
Oh, thank you.
Hi guys.
Hello.
So I had a question. If you could have Art the Clown fight another horror icon, who would it be?
Yeah.
Thanks.
The one I would, because no one really expects this one, and I don't think this movie gets the love it deserves, is, I mean, most people think Pennywise or something like that, that's too obvious, but I really love Nicolas Cage's janitor character in Willy's Wonderland. I think that would be such a cool fight because they're both silent characters, and I think that would be batshit crazy, especially with Nicolas Cage.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah.
I've never seen that movie. I've seen a clip of it.
It's such a fun movie. It's so much fun.
And I wanted to know your answer too, Damien.
I'd want to see him either team up with or fight. I know it's a cliche answer, but Freddy, because they both live now, operate sort of you know, different dimensions, and they both have this dark sense of humor. I would love to see them play off of each other's humor.
And that dream scene in Terrifier 2 has like a very Nightmare on Elm Street feel to it.
For sure, yeah. Part 2 was very blatantly like, I wanted the vibe and the tone of Dream Warrior, so that was a big inspiration. So, love Freddy, yeah.
That's cool. Thanks.
Thank you. Hey guys.
Hey, nice glasses.
Thank you. Seen him in a movie somewhere once. Not sure what it was.
Even better shirt.
Thank you. I've seen this guy somewhere once. He makes these movies that are really fucked up, but me and my fiance, we bond over them, we like them, so hey, whatever. Speaking of that, congratulations, guys, on all the success coming individually and as a whole. And as a fan base, it's thrilling to see. I can only imagine what it's like for you guys. I have a question for David and for Samantha. David, for you, that bar scene, oh my God, the funniest thing I've ever seen in my whole damn life, honest to God. Did you channel like a certain energy in that other than a psychotic Mr. Bean, obviously? Like, was there something you were going for there? Or?
Oh yeah, I was even channeling a little bit of a Will Ferrell from Elf.
My fiance called that. That's awesome.
Oh yeah,
that's
definitely,
awesome.
definitely some Will Ferrell there. So I was channeling all kinds of things. I was just having fun.
Looked like it. That's brilliant.
And also the peeing part. I was. That sounds fun. That's never come out of my mouth. I was channeling the scene from Dirty Rotten Scoundrels with Steve Martin when he's playing Rupert at the dinner table. He's like, "Excuse me, may I go to the bathroom?" And he's like, "Thank you."
See, I thought maybe a little bit of Jim Carrey from Liar Liar when he was doing that.
Oh yeah.
That's awesome. Samantha, for you, I've been listening to a lot of your podcasts recently, and by the way, congratulations on growing up awesome and being a Chris Jericho fan.
Oh, yeah.
That is awesome. So I gotta ask you for that, for you, like growing up a fan of him, what was it like to like majorly assist in killing him on screen?
Well, it's funny because the first time we ever filmed together, did I kill him? I think I did kill him. It didn't make the cut, but he actually put me in a chokehold.
Okay.
And it was one of the most exciting moments of my life. Even though he was so kind and sweet and he was checking in, he's like such a professional. But I don't like killing Chris Jericho. I'd rather kiss him. No. No, he's an amazing person to work with. He's like such a lovely person and very mindful and caring. So very hard to kill him, but definitely enjoyed my time with him.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Here, thank you guys.
Hi.
Hey, what's up, Osh?
Hi. I have a question for Damien. Well, two. Is there a reason we didn't see Sienna return to the Terrifier, and will Terrifier 4 have another holiday theme in it?
Yeah. Well, I wanted to keep the sword, just, you know, the mystique around the sword as much as possible. So like I didn't want to send her back there to dig it up, because it's like, you know that that's what's in the box the entire time, but I didn't want to just telegraph it like so obviously. So that was the main reason, and also trying to keep this from being another 2-hour and 20-minute movie. Yeah.
And then will Part 4 have another holiday theme?
I don't know. I never intended that to really become a gimmick. We're just changing up the
Valentine's Day.
Flag Day.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'm still waiting for art in space personally.
Hello. Hey, I just wanted to start off by tipping my hat to you, Damien. My girlfriend got me into the franchise like 6 months ago. I watched all the movies. All Hallows Eve is like the first horror movie I've seen in years to like actually scare me, especially the ending. My question, however, is for David. How many letters do you think we all have to collectively write to DC to let you be the next live-action Joker?
I say keep going.
I've seen the old videos. Like, I think if you throw a little bit of art into there, like, you got it.
Thanks, man. That's what I would like to do with that character, is really get him back to what he was in the comics, especially in the 80s and 90s eras, where he was very dark and sinister, but still funny at the same time. Because I think Hollywood recently has tried to make him way too creepy, and he's not intentionally creepy that way. He's quite the showman. He's quite egotistical. He loves to hear himself talk, and I would really love to bring that aspect of the character back and really have fun with it, but go in a very dark route with, especially like Killing Joke or Death of the Family of it, where he's just doing some sadistic stuff. Like there was one comic where he like is trying to get one up on somebody who's in a room full of babies, and he just tosses a baby at Jim Gordon's wife, and she goes to catch the baby, and kills her right there, while she's distracted by trying to save this baby. Like, that's the Joker I want to see on screen.
All right, thank you.
Killing babies.
Hi, I have a question for Jonathan. I haven't watched Terrifier 3 yet, but I've watched the other two. How did you feel about like playing your character? Because like I relate to like how like your character was like awkward and also had like a bunch of like weird interests. I've had similar.
I have to say, it was very easy because I'm a lot like the character. I'm very shy, I'm very awkward, so maybe that just naturally transitions onto the screen. I mean, I love horror movies, I love music, and a lot of the scenes, well, a lot of Jonathan's bedroom, like those posters were actually my posters that I have in my bedroom. So I may not be, all about serial killers, but I do love horror movies.
I just have like one more. Like, was it easy for like you to also act like afraid of art and like the little girl? Because like the little girl's like my other favorite.
I mean, David and Amelie, they play their roles so well, and of course Victoria, we didn't have any scenes, but they are phenomenal actors and actresses, and I mean, they're incredible. I mean, it's easy to act with them, for sure.
Thank you very much.
Give Amelie a hand over there, too.
How you doing, guys?
Hey.
That's
an awesome shirt.
Oh, thank you. Dee Wallace thought it was actually an E.T. shirt. It's so right there. Yeah. Anyway, Damien, how you doing?
Hey, sir.
Question. First of all, where did art come from in here, from you?
So, created him a long time ago, 2006, for my first, what I consider official short film, because I was out of high school, didn't have money to go to film school, so I knew I had to create something that I could put into film festivals or something that could be my calling card, that people say, oh, this kid's got something, whether it's makeup effects, directing, whatever, give him a shot or anything. So I wanted to make a short that had my makeup effects in it and some creepy characters that I could create. It was going to be horror based, of course. So I wanted to take just, traditional trope type characters and see if I could put a fresh spin on them and do something different. And I always did love killer clowns, and I felt like I could do something new and interesting with one that I hadn't quite seen before. So I said I just wanted to take a crack at the killer clown and make one that really scares the hell out of me. So when I started designing the character, I said he can't look anything like Tim Curry's Pennywise. So that's a big reason why Art looks the way he looks. And there's no color, and he's very simple, very basic. He doesn't have hair, he doesn't have a red nose, he doesn't speak. I want him to be as different as Tim Curry, because Tim Curry's Pennywise is the king of killer clowns. So if I was going to play in that sandbox, it had to be as far away from that character as possible. And then I just had this sort of Twilight Zone idea of, this woman alone in the middle of the night on a bus, just like totally by herself. The bus is like in a very desolate, like creepy area. It comes to a stop and a clown gets on. It's not Halloween, there's no business, there's no reason for a clown to be getting on this bus. And just sits across from her and just starts really messing with her. And just a very awkward, unreal, surreal situation that just starts getting progressively more sinister. It's just one of like a million ideas. When you're an aspiring filmmaker, all you do is daydream, just creepy scenarios. What could I do? What would freak me out? And it was just that little seed, and then mixed with the design of what I came up with to try not to make a clown that looked like Pennywise, and that was Art the Clown. It's really just
I thought it had to do with David being a mime, because my wife hates killing clowns, and she hates clowns, but meeting David, and she said, okay, I'm going to think about him as a mime.
No! Don't call him the M word.
Okay, sorry.
No, I always like to explain that to people. Like, the difference between a silent clown and a mime is that mimes don't use props. They pantomime everything. And
silent clowns use props. So I think, if he was hurt the mime, he'd be a very ineffective serial killer that way.
That was my next question for kind of each of you, although Elliott kind of almost answered that. That's Elliott, you're right there, getting eaten by Godzilla. So where did you get art?
Oh gosh, he's just a big, huge blend of all kinds of characters that I love, from both the horror world and just the cinematic world. Because I look at him as being a big, huge amalgamation of all the horror icons that came before him. I put little bits and pieces of all those guys in him, especially a lot of Freddy Krueger and a little bit of Joker too. But also I have a long history of watching the great silent film era of comedy. I love great physical comedy, sort of like Charlie Chaplin, Buster Keaton, Harpo Marx, all the way, Peter Sellers, Jerry Lewis, Jim Carrey, Doug Jones, Mr. Bean's a huge influence as well. And my buddy Stephen Carl, who I was the understudy for 5 years with The Grinch, he was Robbie Rotten from Lazy Town. And he really helped teach me a lot of things when I was his understudy. Unfortunately, he's no longer with us, but I just kind of took all that and just blended it together, because I kind of look at art as being the bastard child of Harpo Marx and Freddy Krueger. And I actually found out too, it was like a few months ago, I was just binge watching some old Marx Brother movies just for fun, because I just love those. And I was like, what was Harpo's real name? And I looked it up, his real name was Arthur.
Arthur Marx.
This is amazing.
Okay. Yeah. What about Malcolm McDowell in Clockwork Orange? That's what I thought of when you were whipping Jonathan in the first one.
Oh, I was totally just humming that in my head.
Yeah. Singing in the
Oh, yeah.
And how about you, Samantha? How do you get? You're so beautiful in real life.
Oh, that's very nice.
How did you get so disgusting? I mean, that's.
Damien Leone. For character, I think for the third one, it was a major departure, obviously, from my other character, because there's a point where Victoria Hayes is no longer in the body, and these were just extensive discussions with Damien early on. Damien had a very clear vision of the direction he wanted to go in with the character, which was a very childlike, manic, something very different than we've seen in like Possessed or Possessions. And so Damien gave me a strong base in the beginning. References like Bette Davis and Whatever Happened to Baby Jane was a huge influence. And then I went away and I did a lot of research. I watched Helen Bonham Carter as I love her as an actress. What she did with Bellatrix Lestrange in the Harry Potter series is like unbelievable. Her cackle is, you didn't like her?
Oh no, I mean she's great. I just wanted to kill her,
Oh yeah, she's brilliant. But yeah, I looked to a lot of people, Heath Ledger in the Joker, just to, I guess, get permission, not really inspiration, because I think when you take a character so far in this direction, it can be terrifying. And when you're like next to David, who's an amazing actor and an amazing, Art the Clown, it's like trying to find something that makes her interesting and engaging. So I looked to a lot of those people that I mentioned for permission, and then when we got to set, I just really trust Damien to know that like I'm gonna get in, give everything that I have. We're gonna go in all these crazy directions, and I'm just gonna, listen to my intuition and see what comes up in the moment when I'm with David, when I'm with Lauren, and then see what happens. So yeah, it's definitely a very pure collaboration.
Was
the
the headpiece heavy?
Headpiece? Don't get me started on the special effects.
Okay.
No, that it was all very light. It's all like second skin, so yeah.
Okay. And Jason, you that scene where he burned your arm with the iron. That was sorry. Anyway, Jason did an absolutely fantastic movie called Rush. If anybody's seen it.
Yes.
What fantastic movie. Yeah. And I hope he's going to be in 4, right? Or you're not going to tell me?
No, he is going to be in 4.
Okay.
With a vengeance.
So, excellent.
I have to cap the questions because Shawnee's going to be on her way over, but before you guys go, do you want to plug any upcoming projects?
Terrifier 4?
I'm mean, I got a Screenboat, of course, coming in January. What's that?
It's an animated movie, didn't
No, a long time ago. It's been a while.
You were saying you had Screenboat coming up?
Yes, Screenboat comes out in January to theaters.
Anything you want to plug for podcasts?
Oh, me?
No, Samantha.
Okay, sorry.
Sorry.
Did you want to plug your podcast?
My podcast?
Somebody said you had a podcast.
Oh, no, I've just been on a few podcasts. But I have a short film that's a psychological horror. It's called Open Your Eyes. I did a few festivals recently, Fright Fest, Scream Fest, Nightmare Fest, and it's gonna hopefully be online soon on the platform. So I was the director in that and a writer.
Jason, any projects you want to plug? Any projects you want to plug, you guys?
I am in a horror movie called Pitchfork Retreat. It's like an anthology horror film. I don't know when it's going to come out, but it was very fun to film.
All right, guys, give it up for the case of Terrifier 3.
Thank you guys so much.